Hey everybody, it's Mike back here with Poolside Profits. So we're going to dig into reputation management best practices. Getting reviews. Obviously, it's annoying. Customers always say, "Oh yeah, we're going to leave you a great review. We're going to leave you a review." They never get to it. It never comes. It's very frustrating. So how do we, increase the likelihood of that actually happening? There's a number of ways that we can do that. So I'm going to go through some of the top ways to do that. Number one is always going to be to ask in person, which I'm sure you're doing already. But there's a certain ways of how you can, like I said, increase the likelihood of that actually happening. So um, when you first show up for the job, what you can do is just kind of preface, hey, here's what we're going to do. This is all the work that we're going to get done. Once this job is done, it's going to look great. This is, your pool is going to look like this, whatever it is. Once we complete the job, I will be asking for a review. I'd love to get your experience if you don't mind doing that. Just kind of let them know that you'll eventually be asking for that. So now they're already kind of thinking that they'll have that in the back of their head. Um, as you're getting towards the end, you're completing the job. Build a string of yeses. Hey, do you like this? Yes. Um, did everything come out great? Yes, it did. Yes, yes, yes. Everything looks great. Yes. Get all those yeses. Start to get that psychological, you know, thinking of yes in there, and then now it comes time to ask them to leave a review. The best time to do that is when you're cleaning up. So now the customer should already be ready to say yes again, and hey, Mrs. Jones, we're just going to wrap up. We're just going to clean up here if you don't mind. Um, while we're doing that, if you wouldn't mind just leaving us sharing your experience on how we did and leaving us a review on Google, it's very important for us to build up when it comes to building up our brand. Very simple explanation. They have nothing else to do besides watch you guys clean up and type a review. It should take 30 seconds. So, um, next, we're going to go into how you get them to leave a review. And there's a few ways to do that too. You can message them the link. You can have a QR code prepared. Um, we'll also talk about NFC tap cards, which is another option. Um, what's also very impactful too, if you can get them, if it's someone that you think can handle searching on a phone, the absolute best way to get them, getting the most out of the review, because getting a review is one thing, but to really get the max juice out of it, as powerful, you want to make that review as powerful as possible, because reviews help you pop up better in Google. They help you rank far and wide around the service areas that you work in. So how you get the best bang for your buck with the review, is getting them to go on their own phone, Google your brand. We spoke about this. Google your brand and then go to the actual review button and ask to leave a review. We'll talk about this in another video, but this is what we call an engagement signal, and you want to show Google that people are searching your brand. Now, if you get a customer on every single job that you're doing to actually Google your brand at their home and leave a review, I mean, you're going to be popping up all over the place. That's very, very impactful. So that would be the number one option. If you don't trust them to do that, or they don't have an actual Gmail account to leave a review, or they're not signed in, the option is text them a link. Help try and help them, figure out how to get logged into a Gmail or something like that. But most people do. Sometimes that's a hurdle you can't really get over, but for the most part, people have an account. So that's the absolute best time to get one. Then we have review requests that can be sent out through, sent digitally. So there's CRMs out there. There's Service Titan, House Call Pro, Jobber, Get Swimmer. Things like that, where you're using an actual, CRM software to, for dispatching, invoicing, and all that stuff. You're keeping track of all your customers in there. All these tools have an option to, at the end of the job, automatically send out a message to them asking them to leave a review. Now, that's the best way to. That's also really helpful for a lot of people, because it might not be a habit of yours where you're asking to leave a review, or you're remembering to text them or something like that. When the job goes complete in your CRM and they automatically get a text message, that's one less thing that you have to do. So this is a really good option. Honestly, some of our best clients, who do this, are the best at getting reviews because it's done automatically. So the job gets complete, invoice is paid. Now they're going to get sent a text message asking them to leave a review with that review link. Now, a similar option to this, there's other marketing softwares out there. If you're not using a CRM or something like that, there's other things. This is what we do, as a company, where we have our own automation built out, where the first message that they're going to get in that review request sequence, day one, they're going to get a text message and an email. So we always want to send out to both because we want to get them in two different areas. We don't know what they're going to respond to, so we have options. It's going to be a short and sweet message. Hey, Mrs. Jones, we appreciate your business. This is Mike from ABC Pools. Would love to get your feedback on your experience with us. If you wouldn't mind leaving us a review on Google, here's the link. It really helps us build our brand. And then we share the link to the actual review text box where they would leave a review on your actual Google business profile. So that's what they get in a text message format as well as an email. And then we have automated follow-ups that are going out. So they'll get another follow-up via text message every 7 business days. So it gets pretty spread out. We're not hammering these people, and we can set that frequency how little or as often as we want. But then the very last one they'll get, the fourth message, will be another text and a second email. So they'll get 4 texts and 2 emails at the most. But in any point in this automation, if somebody replied to that text or email, or they actually click the link to go and leave a review, the customer gets pulled out of that automation. So they're not going to keep getting hammered after they've left a review, and you're not dealing with angry customers like, hey, I already did this. So that's another way of doing things. Fourth option, if there's somebody that hasn't responded in any one of these ways, have your office staff, have somebody on your team call and follow up. Hey, Mrs. Jones, I know we were wondering if you could leave us a review. We just wanted to follow up on that. If I texted you a link to leave us a review right now, would you mind doing that? Would you have 30 seconds to do that? Great. This is another way. If you're really trying to get a review on every single job, this is, another way of you doing your due diligence and making sure that you're getting one on every single job. The other thing I wanted to make note when we were talking about asking in person, when we're talking about getting the best bang for your buck on every single customer review, is asking them to leave a photo. So take a picture of the pool. The job is complete. Take a picture, include that picture in the review, and try and get a keyword in there. I just had a new pool installed. Something like that, where you're getting those keywords in there. That's how you're going to get the most out of the review. Now we have QR codes. So everyone knows what a QR code is. Very easy to take a picture or scan it and then have that review link pop up. So QR codes are basically just an image file. They can be used anywhere. We can put them on business cards, email signatures, your invoices. You can wrap your vehicles with those. You can really put them anywhere, since it's just an image file. They're very easy to scan. Obviously, you can show it to a customer. You could have it on your paperwork or whatever it is. This makes it easy to get in person, obviously. And then if you don't know how to create a QR code, Google actually just made it super easy to do that. So if you're doing this for the first time, this is what you're going to do. You're going to go to business.google.com/locations, pull up your Google listing, and then here in this menu, you have ask for reviews. So you're going to click that, and now we have your reviews QR code. So instead of texting a customer this link, now you have this actual QR code already made, and all you have to do is right click, save image as, and now you have your QR code file. So now you're all set with your QR code. Very easy to pull this up and start using that on, in any format that you want. Another option that you have is creating an NFC tap card. So if you're not familiar with what these are, let's see, the picture should be here. Basically what you can do is go on Amazon, and buy a bunch of lanyards. You can get the actual NFC tap cards. You can get a bunch of them. You can get 40 of them for like $10. I don't even know if you need that many, but um, and then what you can do is print a logo. Let's see. Here, we'll just pull that up. What is that? Google NFC tap card. So I'm sure you've seen these in stores, but basically what you want to do is recreate this, and you can put this, around your neck in a lanyard. It looks just like that. So you can put your logo in there, include the QR code. And this is something where, if your staff is wearing it around their neck, they can just tap the customer's phone and it will pull up the review box to basically get them to leave a review. So this is another option. Let's see here. And to set that up, what you're going to do is go to the App Store and pull up NFC tools, search that, and it's this logo. That's what this looks like. And this is basically what you can use to actually program your tap cards, if that's how you want to go about that. And then last but not least, we have incentives. Now, you don't want to have to, obviously, this is going to be a little bit more costly, but the options are to incentivize your staff or incentivize the customer. I would highly recommend going the staff route because your customer's already getting a great service, and you can have your team just go and say, hey, when they're asking for the review in person, like, they can basically like relay that, you know, I'm in a competition with the rest of my team. We get incentives for getting reviews from the jobs that we do. If you can get a review and mention my name in it, that's going to go a long way with me and my boss, or whatever it is. So there's a number of different ways that you can word that, obviously, but that tends to go a long way, because if they got great service and they want to reward the guy that they're dealing with, this is the easiest way to do that. It takes them 30 seconds again, and they can follow those easy instructions. Take a picture, mention my name, the service that you got, and that's how you're going to get a beautiful review. So the absolute last resort, I would say, is, yeah, we'll give you whatever it is, X amount of dollars off your next pool cleaning, or repair, or something like that. I don't think you need to go that far, but this is kind of like the order that I would go in. Asking in person. If it doesn't happen, then you could always plug that customer into review automation, and there's a number of other ways to follow up with customers in case that doesn't happen. So hopefully you guys found this informative and helpful, and as always, if you have any questions about any of these steps or want some more information, just feel free to reply to the newsletter and we'll help you out.